And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our second segment for the morning. Our first conversation was very dynamic, loved it. But up next, Belize Telemedia Limited and Destination Greatness and Fiber Rollout. I love the way they roll that out. Now in to tell us some more about it, who else should we have but the CEO of BTL, or Belize Telemedia Limited, Ivan Tesacum, and Marconi Leal, Chief of Sales at Digi. Guys, good morning, and welcome.
Morning. Thank you for having us.
I've got to say, spanking suits, huh? It simply means that we're up to business now. But guys, once again, welcome, and let's talk about it. Destination Greatness and Fiber Rollout. CEO, you just got the reins of this one. So this is, I can't say that it's fairly new for you. You've been a part of the company.
Yes.
How are things in terms of getting at the top helm of Digi? Of BTL?
Sure. Good. I think that it's an exciting opportunity. Certainly, this is my first interview introducing myself as the CEO of Digi, so on Open Your Eyes. But certainly, you know, we've come a long way, and what we wanted to today begin talking about is, you know, where we have come from, where we are now, and where we're going. So a little bit about that. And over the past couple of years, we've been working on something called Destination Greatness. And that involved really looking at our complete infrastructure. So it was not only the mobile infrastructure, but also the fixed infrastructure. And so in going through that, we proceeded to launch the first 4G LTE mobile advanced network in this region. That was in December 2016. And ever since, you know, we've had good speeds. We've been able to do a lot with it. As a matter of fact, apart from that rollout, we proceeded to go and then also expand the network further. So right now we're at about 137 cell sites countrywide.
Wow.
Exactly. You know, so we're covering almost the entire Belize, and we continue to look at expanding our coverage as well during this year and the next years to come.
Yeah. You know, and you have made some accomplishments, and I want us to get into that in just a bit. But just, Ivan, I thank you for being here for the interview, and congratulations on the new post. And I think it's definitely something that I know comes with its challenges. The telecom industry is a very competitive one. BTL has its history in terms of being a government-run institution, and so people will be very critical of investments made, progress made, or any setbacks. How prepared are you for all these challenges?
Well, thank you. That's a very good question, actually. In terms of the challenges, you know, one of the things that we look at is the fact that Digi, because we rebranded it to Digi, is no longer just competing locally. That's one of the important things for us to recognize, and that's what we recognize, and that's why we commenced our overall first destination greatness of where we're going and what has been accomplished, because we realize that it's no longer about only Belize. So when you think about Snapchat, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and all the others, those are the ones that really are competing with us as well. So it's no longer only other competitors locally, but you're competing international with very, very big, large, multi-billion-dollar companies. And that was part of where we wanted to go, because we realized that where we were in terms of back then and where we are now, we're in a much better place to be able to handle that sort of challenge, that sort of competition that we're doing.
Are we still competitive? And if I'm to look at myself as a user and those around me, it seems that traditional communication tools, text messages, landlines, and even cell phone, mobile to mobile, they seem to be diminishing. It's a data-driven world that we live in. In terms of looking at where we are and how we progress with that type of technology, what's the vision there?
So I think it's focused on data. And so looking at, we know we have our voice and our text plans, and we don't revamp them as much as we do our data plans, both on a mobile side and on a fixed side. So you would have seen us as a company last year, November, reintroduce new data plan, and it was focused, just as you asked, on customers and looking at the customer trends and what they want. And so we continue to ensure that when we're revamping our plans, it's not only looking at the local market, but it's also benchmarking to what other countries in the region are doing in terms of, and we compare our GDP in comparison to the region. We look at what is the entry-level price point that we want customers to be taking up a mobile data plan. And we ensure that we have that value proposition that customers can do what it is that we want them to do on our mobile network. Like Ivan said, we basically had a spanking new mobile network last year, which is why Ookla, which is known for its speed tests and ranking countries, had us rank as the #1 in terms of the in this region because we had an LTE advanced network.
Yeah.
And then on the fixed side...
And that's based on speed.
That's based on speed. And then on the fixed side, with our Diginet plans that we now have, the value that we're offering in those plans, and since we launched Diginet and we started the rollout, we've doubled speeds. We currently have the promotion where we're tripling speeds. So from a competitive standpoint and looking at the region, and a big part of Destination Greatness that I know Ivan wants to talk about is how we rank now in the region because we've tripled speeds.
Well, don't jump on my question there. Because once upon a time, and it is still within recent memory, Belize held the dubious distinction of being one of the most expensive price for internet and one at the slowest speed.
Yeah, correct.
And I believe that you gentlemen feel that you have something to share about that now.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
We know we've gotten rid of that crown.
Yes,
yeah, I'm not call it that.
We have a brand new shiny crown.
Okay, thank you.
And so a part of also what we did was that we then also look at our fixed network in part of Destination Greatness and realized that we had a very dated copper network that had to be completely revamped. And so we made a very ambitious goal, and that was to fiberize the entire country. We know that fiber throughout the country, throughout the world, is the most fastest modern transport medium. And so presently we embarked in July 2017, we started what we call the Fiber to the Home broadband project. It was called the National Broadband Plan. And really, at the end of September 2019, 2 years afterwards, we're able to say that we are now passing over 90,000 homes and businesses. So it's almost everywhere now has access to fiber, which is the fastest. And with that, as what Marconi was saying, we have seen gradually as we have introduced fiber throughout the country, as we have doubled speeds and now we have triple speeds, we now are the third fastest in this region.
Yes.
So we went from the bottom three being laggards to now we are at the forefront as a country.
Yes.
So, and that is something that is tremendous. That's a great accomplishment, not only for Digi, but for the country of Belize, because it shows what all we can do. And even more than that, we know the social impact, the economic impact. We realize all of what it brings, and the penetration, the fact that we are now about 40% of all homes are connected via fiber throughout this country of Belize is something that's very impressive. So businesses, homes, schools, there's a lot of work that has been done, and we know that moves the country forward as well in terms of overall infrastructure, in terms of learning, everything. Yeah,
that's it's a key accomplishment because it is also important for business as well.
Right.
And it does come at an investment though, and I think that's usually where it's a bit of a challenge for people to understand. You make a large investment with a particular vision. If you were to reflect, and I know you're assuming the leadership at this point, if you were to reflect on the investment that has been made, would it be absolutely worthwhile at this point?
At this point, the answer is absolutely yes. The fact that like I said, fiber, there's nothing else after fiber at this point in time, in terms of the fact that we can turn up speeds just by configuration, the fact that it's a brand new network. So yes, we had to do that, and it's certainly an investment that is one of our best investments that we've ever made. It was very large, as you said. We've invested about $96 million in a countrywide network, but of course this network is also future-proof. So it's not a 3-year or 5-year network. It's something that is many, many years that we'll be able to use it, and that's one of the important things that we have to recognize. So we as a country, Digi is here to bring more exciting things.
We know that it's solid indeed, and the customers are actually showing that. They're telling you that. You don't have to go on out there anymore and say, how do you feel? They're coming to you and say, man, thanks. The former CEO, Ruckus, he's been with us a few times, and he shared with us his plans. I'd like your thoughts on his plans, especially the plan to roll out internet to Mexico. These are some of his plans that he wanted to eventually roll out. He also the rebranding was in his tenure as well. What's your thoughts on this? And you did mention we want to talk about where we are and where we want to go. What's your thoughts on that, and where do you want to go? Where do you want to go?
Sure. So part of our vision is still that we need to expand in terms of expanding regionally. So that's something that we continue to look after and continue to explore with our potential partners. In terms of where we now go for Digi, it's important for us to realize that we have launched, for example, DigiLearn, via the Ministry of Education, partnering with Digi. It's a very exciting project. Wow. I mean, how can you not want to invest in your future?
Of course.
The children of Belize. And certainly that is something that we're very excited about, something that, you know, we've done, and there's a lot to go there, because at the end of the day, we want to be able to expand that to the entire high schools and then see where we go from there. So Marconi will speak more about DigiLearn, but that's one of the great things that we still have that we're working on. Another big pilot in terms of where I see the vision going is, for example, safe cities. You know, the ability for us to be able to, you know, have cameras that are able to keep the citizenry safe. Wow. We know that is very important to all of us. It's very important to tourism, you know, because we know when things happen, it takes a black eye to Belize, and it's not one hotel or one district, it's the industry in Belize, and that is a very important project for us in terms of safe cities. The other thing that we're looking at is what we call the buzzword Internet of Things. Of course, that's a myriad of things, really, so it's not only one thing, but that's another thing that now the fiber network, because we have fiber throughout the country, we are able to look at that. So when you look at something like e-tourism, e-agriculture, e-health, you know, DigiLearn being another one, e-learn platform. Those are the things that where Digi is going. That's where we're going. That's what we're looking for towards the future.
And I think that's key to what John is talking about. So what you've done in your fiber rollout is kind of like set your foundation as to what you can build from. So it means that the idea generation that's taking place at Digi should be moving at a rapid pace right now.
Trust me, it is, and it's totally focused on innovation and looking at how we could leverage our network. And there's so many case studies out there that we look at, and we know that there's opportunities for us to basically enhance the life of Belizeans. If it is in home security, home automation, Ivan mentioned the big one that we're focused on right now, DigiLearn, and currently we have over 3,000 students, well, and teachers included, that they're on this platform, and we could have launched DigiLearn because schools now have 500 MB of data going to those schools. They could power it. We also have the solution that we call Digi Wi-Fi, where we have the systems in each of the classroom, and the Wi-Fi system could be so good, and we're powering that educational system. And we continue to look at how do we continue to roll out it to the additional schools countrywide, so that we hit the secondary, and we don't know where we go from the secondary institutions, because the opportunities are endless in terms of investing in education and the overall innovation aspect of what we can do to enhance the life of Belizeans.
And the platform itself, what does it offer? The DigiLearn platform. So
it's basically using the DigiLearn platform, and we've partnered with Microsoft. It's a solution where teachers can go online. You can now do if they upload something, all students get it. They have their classroom set up. They could do their quiz online. You answer the questions. So it's an entire end-to-end online solution for a learning experience, and it's just the interaction that we've seen students, and we were at some of the schools, I'm telling you, students don't want to stay home because they're sick now, because they have their laptop and they want to be at school. And if it is, and there's cases where if it is that you're sick and you're home, the quiz or the test was posted, so you could still go in there, you could still do it. It's changing the way we look at education, and the way and it's powering also as our students go from secondary to tertiary, and as they enter into the business sector, we now get students that are not only for the local market, but when you talk about if you want opportunities to go somewhere else and live somewhere else, and we are powering our students to endless opportunities.
You know, I think that's one of the examples of one of your socially responsible programs that you've initiated, but you're also looking at using the platform, I think, in moving in progression with the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is moving towards streaming services, and I know that's been something in the pipeline for Digi for a while. So what are you going to tell us about that today?
So when we look at streaming services, we are currently looking at, we continue to look at whether we are going to partner with an international firm or partner here locally. But we know that streaming service is something that is going to be in our portfolio pretty soon. We're in the final stages, I guess you could say, of trying to launch this product, and so we're almost there. But you know, it's very exciting, because that's another service that Digi will be able to offer. And at the end of the day, again, it's all made through, like you said, the foundation of what we've laid. The fact that now it's very easy and accessible, and the customers will be able to get it either through their home network or be able to get it via the mobile network. And that is very exciting that we are. So I think in the next couple of months we should hear very exciting news from Marconi's team in terms of the launch of that, you know, our OTT content. Yes.
Yeah.
We always have the coming soon, so they know that. They know that we will have stuff.
I will ask about Triple O, don't worry. But no, I mean, it's key because we just came from a conversation about talking about driving content and getting Belizean content out to the rest of Belize, but also beyond our borders as well. So I think that that's a key point to look at. But you know, it is important to note that people watching this segment right now, I'd say the majority, only have one thing in mind, and that's affordability. You know, we are not all affluent people who are trying to get data on our phone. It's just a basic necessity for people now, and they want cheaper prices and they want reliable services. So while investments will take place, and recovery of investment is important because again, you are a government industry company, how do we keep the prices affordable along with reliability?
So I could give some big examples of some of our key products where we have ensured that while we're investing, we're also looking at how we make it more affordable.
Yeah.
And two examples that I've been using recently is our $2 data plan 2 years ago gave you 75 MB of data. Today that plan is now for $2.50 and it gives you 330 MB of data. That's more than 3 to 4 times the amount of data that we're giving. So customers used to, for that 75 MB, they would have to buy numerous amount of plans to consume and do what it is that they wanted to do. So while customers might not, in many cases, while we're not reducing prices, we're giving you so much more, which in effect it's reducing prices. When we look at our entry-level plan that we have right now, our $79 internet package for Diginet, that plan would have cost $400 2 years ago before we launched Diginet. So from all different angles and all our different product portfolios, we're looking at how we give you more value, which in effect, if a customer is paying more, then they look at what it is that, and the price point for what it is that they want, and we continue to do that as we tailor the different packages that we offer to customers.
And I think that at the end of the day, like you correctly said, you know, our proposition is one about value. So there are a lot of bundles that we're offering as well that when you combine them, it's a better value proposition than buying them a la carte or buying them standalone. And so, you know, also the speeds that we have also had, you know, there's a lot of things that we have brought in, and you're right, at the end of the day, it's to make sure that, you know, it's affordable and also giving you value. You mentioned about efficiency. How do we make it efficient? Well, one of the good things about the fiber network that we now have is the fact that we now have a network that, in terms of faults, is very small compared to where we were. So we have reduced it by almost 90%, 95% in terms of faults. So that's how we make things more efficient, because now instead of having to focus individuals on having to maintain a network, they can be doing other value-added jobs that brings in more revenue that allows us to be able to offer these services more reliable. So efficiency is at our core. We consider that a pillar of Digi, and that's called operational excellence. So because we need to be more efficient. At the end of the day, we are not only owned majority by the government, but we also have about 1,600 shareholders. As a matter of fact, we have our AGM on November 21st of this month, where we'll be presenting to them the results of what we did for ended year March 2019.
So how many cell sites throughout the country?
136.
136. And when do we get the 137th one?
It's on the way. It's on the way. We might launch it as we speak. Yes. We have a few cell sites.
We have a few cell sites for this year.
And I think that's one of the buy-in from the public, because they see continuous work from Digi, and if we see continuous work, then why not try to move there? Because we know that the services are going to be okay. There's still a few down places across the country. How are we working on that, and especially trying to make sure that the public is aware that this is what's going on?
So every year we're in our planning cycle. And so from a mobile standpoint, we're always looking at the areas where we know we don't have coverage or we have low coverage. And so we plan for those. And then on the fixed side, we know we have Diginet, and like Ivan mentioned, we're countrywide, but do we know there's still locations that we want to go into? So we're prioritizing those locations based on the population, and looking at if it's a roadside area, if it's a tourist destination. And every year we prioritize that based on what we know we want to invest to ensure that we're maximizing our investment, but also reaching the customers and the populations that we know we need to get into to enhance that coverage.
So looking forward, I mean, we're talking about, as we said, there's the foundation, there are your social programs that you're running, you have a move to be able to expand coverage, which will always be something that you have to set as your marker. But what is priority number one for Ivan as the new CEO?
Priority number one is, I think, customer excellence, customer centricity. I think at the end of the day, one of the things that we are focusing on as we move the company forward is to digitize as much as we can. In other words, ease of use for the customer, interaction from the customer via multiple touch points. And one of the things that we have also embarked on, for example, is we have introduced Dana, our digital assistant. I know folks sometimes say they can't get through, but certainly it's really exciting. It's artificial intelligence. It's learning our language. For example, Creole is not something that you find outside of Belize. To that level there, you know.
Belizean accent in English. So
it's learning, but it's doing much better. And so right now, whilst we have launched it with just doing looking up phone numbers, we're also looking to do customer service. Another thing that we have also introduced that we're going to be improving on as well is the DigiGo app, where the customers are able to interact, to find their to look up how much they owe or what is their bill, how to buy products and services. And we're going to be rolling that out now to postpaid customers as well in January. So and then we went through a store modernization. So we did the first flagship on Regent Street. We did several stores in San Pedro, Orange Walk, and Belmopan. And we call those the modernization of stores. And then we did our signature store up at the Mirab store in the shopping center there. So we have been expanding, and the reason for that, if you notice, the layout of the store is more one about service oriented, being able to do sales, and people are able to touch the phones, feel the phones, because we expect that that's the interaction that we want to have. That's what everyone is excited about. So that's one of our biggest things, is really, you know, customer centricity. How are we going to make the customer, you know, ease of use? So for whatever they want, they should be able to reach us via multiple touch points. So it's not only about calling. We know everybody is busy. It's not about going only to the office. It's about finding other mediums, and that's what, you know, in our terms we call it the digitization, and that's what we're working towards as well.
Well, we've got Marconi here. I think about 3 weeks ago we had your panel here, and they were telling us about all these wonderful deals and these nice deals. Some folks might have missed it. Can you roll back again all these deals that's going on right now? And I say a deal because I don't want a deal.
Well, the big one for us is Diginet Triple Speed. We have so many customers now realizing the value that they can get in our Diginet package. At the entry-level price point for $79, getting 30 megs, it's the speed that could power your home, and customers are enjoying it. And then there's a lot of customers that now look at our $119 price point and say, what Digi is giving free mobile in these plans, I no longer have to worry about double up, and I get so many minutes, so many data, and so many texts. And customers are moving to those plans. So I want to encourage customers to look at our Diginet plans. We have our Diginet Triple, which gives you a free mobile postpaid plan and a free home phone plan with 120 megs of speed. And so customers are looking at those plans, they're enjoying it. We have the network, we have what it takes to continue to give you that reliable service that you want. And then on the mobile side, of course, we just doubled our mobile postpaid plans data. Everybody loves data on your mobile for whatever it is that you do. I don't want to list them out. And so we continue to have that deal where customers are making the switch from the competition, but there are also a lot of our prepaid customers who are saying, I see the value that you have in your postpaid plan. Lock me into a postpaid plan because that is what I want. Unlimited talk and text and a ton load of data.
Wow.
And then, of course, I would want to discuss the Christmas promotions that we have coming on stream soon, but that is one that I would have to say coming soon.
I knew you would have done that.
Listen, people have to get started early.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's coming very soon.
All right.
You know, Ivan, as you said, the AGM is coming up. I think people will be looking forward to hearing from you in terms of the message that you'd like to share there. We can perhaps get a bit of a precursor this morning, reflecting on the year, but also looking forward.
Sure. As we go to the AGM this year, we want to also announce that, you know, for Digi, we made the largest ever gross revenues in our history, and so that's something that's very important to us at 163 million. So overall, you know, it's our largest, and we continue to push. We continue to work hard, and it's not only about you know, where we are right now, but like you correctly said, where we're going. So there are a lot of exciting things that we are working on. Like I said, you know, we have to make sure we improve our customer experience. You know, we're also looking at expanding our coverage in areas that we don't have. We're also looking to new services that we're going to be launching. Like I said, you know, the OTT content is something that we're going to be looking forward to. We're going to continue pushing DigiLearn because that's very exciting. We are going to be launching a pilot, like I said, with called Safe Cities with the Belize Police Department, working along with them. So we're going to be working along with them in Safe Cities. We are going to be looking at a suite of services for the hospitality industry. We know that tourism is a very big industry, and there's a lot of room to work along with that industry to make things better as well, and to give them more services, because we know that our tourists that they come in, they're expected to a certain standard of, you know, telecom services, and guess what, Digi can offer it. So there's, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, that's certainly an opportunity for us that we're going to be working on as we speak. So those are the exciting things that we have going forward.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, we thank you for coming in, and we appreciate you sharing the update as to the work accomplished, and definitely looking forward to the vision that lies ahead. Don't be strangers now, right?
Yes. Thank you.
And thank you once again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, it's time for you to learn about a brand new business in Belize, and it's called Profit Chicken. That's coming up after the break. Please stay tuned.